the USADA is a joke. Mm-hmm. It's lost all credibility. It's steadily been losing credibility, and I think this is the nail in the coffin for USADA.
Excellent!
Hello and welcome to Jack and Mel's Super Rad MMA Show. I'm Jack.
And I'm Mel.
If you like MMA related content, Palooka Media have got you covered. We aim to bring you new content on YouTube 3 days a week, normally Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. We have an audio podcast that comes out on a Tuesday, but today is a very special day. So be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps us out and helps us to bring you new content each week. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. You know what we're here to talk about.
I was dreading this.
Champion, role model.
BJ Penn?
Drunkard, cokehead, criminal, the
okay.
greatest of all time, and possibly a big dirty snitch. Who am I talking about?
You would be talking about Mr. Jon Jones, Mel.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, it's been a complete
show.
Show is not even it's something beyond that. I completely gobsmacked. To anyone who hasn't caught up in the news, Jon Jones has received a 15-month ban for basically all of his transgressions to do with this the most recent drug test failure. We released a video, which we'll put in the link down below. We released a video earlier on in the week about Jon Jones, and we had said that we'd heard rumblings that it was going to be Madison Square Gardens. It's a little bit of an odd period of time for the ban, isn't it?
It's an odd coincidence getting a 15-month suspension. Not an 18, not 24, not 12, but 15, which just coincidentally lines up so that Mr. Jones' dance card is free for Madison Square Garden. Just when the UFC needed a big headliner as well.
There is a lot to get into about this. There's so many little issues that can come off the back of this. To me, one of the things I was really excited to ask you about this was your opinion on how GSP must be feeling. To those, again, who are maybe unsure, the USADA being grandfathered into the UFC was kind of meant to keep him quiet because he was complaining about steroid cheats, and it was almost an unofficial company line to bring them in. How must he be feeling seeing the system, to me, failing all of the fighters? Because I think it's an absolute disgrace that he has got away with what he has got away with for the transgressions that he has had.
Absolutely. I'm sure GSP's not overly chuffed being on the forefront of the fight against performance-enhancing drugs. USADA so far, I'm not going to say, have they done a bad job? Yes and no.
Oh,
they still have, through the testing, have caught fighters using illegal substances. But at the same time, there's also been a lot of fighters pinged for cannabinoids.
Well, the most was you highlighted earlier was Kevin Gustafsson for 6 months.
Yeah, so Kelvin obviously smoked something, ate something, had a good time,
vaped something,
bruh, and he got 6 months. And this is Jon Jones' second offence, which I'm pretty sure by USADA's own standards
is
a 4-year suspension.
Yeah.
Which has magically been, like we said earlier, chopped down to a 15-month.
Oh, it's almost like there's money involved somewhere for somebody, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all very coincidental. Before this verdict even came out, USADA were releasing statements last week about that they had in fact not been paid off. Which,
skeptical hippo eyes much?
Yeah, the hippo eyes are in full force here. They have caught guys using performance-enhancing drugs. Fair enough. They have also caught guys using what I would deem non-performance-enhancing drugs. And the system of punishments seems way off on a lot of things.
There seems to be no...
My issue with this is that it is, in fact, they still haven't been able to prove, firstly, where this came from. Which Jon, part of the big argument we said is that Jon has been, he's helped out lots. Yeah. And it was a tainted supplement, but we couldn't find which supplement.
Or when it was produced.
Or who produced it, or where it was bought, or when it was ingested.
Which raises a really interesting point when you compare it apples to apples for the Josh Barnett suspension, which to those who don't know, he went through 2 odd years of arbitration basically saying, I didn't do anything wrong. So you if you think that you're going to punish me or suspend me for something I didn't do. He always buys doubles of his supplements so that he can send them off. He catalogs them and references them. He was able to give USADA the ticket to his innocence, and USADA still went out of their way to set some kind of weird example against him.
A public warning.
Right.
By the time...
For a public warning for doing nothing wrong.
Yeah, but by the time that had transpired, he'd been out of the cage for, 18 months anyway?
Yeah.
So... yeah, I just, that's my issue. And the fact that certain other guys who have been caught, let's say, by USADA, first-time offenders, such as, most recently, Fabricio Verdum, 2 years. First-time offender, 2 years flat.
Yep.
But Jon Jones is a second-time offender who we can't prove hasn't taken it, 15 months.
Yeah, well, the other interesting about that is that Dana White came out and said something along the lines of, I believe the science, and the science shows that Jon Jones was not trying to cheat. It's the only thing the science shows is that he did, in fact, have these metabolites.
That they were in his system.
They were in his system. Science has nothing to do with proving whether or not he did or did not cheat. It is not... it's... Do you know what? The UFC right now, I am getting so fed up with how money grab since we've talked about this before. The WME era of the UFC is a different kettle of fish, but this is getting ridiculous now. There is no fairness and no parity for the fighters. There's no equality amongst any of the punishments. It's case by case, which basically means that the guys like Jon Jones or other bigger superstars, they can basically get away with what they want. Brock Lesnar, UFC 200, anyone? Mark Hunt, is no one listening to him? Mark Hunt must be furious right now today as well. Bet you he's livid as well.
Mark Hunt's been livid for years.
But rightly so, though, because I'm starting to feel it as a fan.
Oh, yeah, but like you said, it's that don't let the facts get in the way
of a good fight.
Of a good fight. And more importantly, the dollar. The almighty dollar. UFC needs. Here we go. Well,
right.
Hometown guy to headline MSG. Who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters. Yeah, I know. And they'll make out like gangbusters on it too. And this is what annoys me, is I saw someone tweeting earlier, and it's so true. Everyone's face whenever this is being announced, everyone's pitchforks and screw Jon Jones, but you just know that the same people will be tweeting being like, yes, the second that there's a fight announced, which will probably by all intents and purposes, it's probably going to be Gus, isn't it?
It does sound that way. I would be very, very shocked if DC agrees to fighting Jones again
before Lesnar,
or just
again, I could see him doing it at heavyweight. I could see him doing it at heavyweight.
He tweeted out earlier, just that essentially USADA is a joke and don't bother coming to his door anymore at 6 a.m. because what's the point?
Well, he's right though. He's right. He is right.
Oh yeah, well, exactly. It's just, well, I mean, like you said, fans it'll be swept under the carpet, and that's the conundrum you come to with Jon Jones, because don't get me wrong, I love watching Jon Jones fight. To me, I'm hesitant to say he's the best ever, but he's in the conversation.
He's absolutely, well, he certainly is in the top 2 or 3 of all time, whether we like it or not.
Oh, absolutely, he's at the very top.
And whether he's cheated the entire time or not.
Well, we don't know. Yeah, shift the eyes. But you know how it'll go. John will get booked. His fans will come out in force. Yay, he's back.
He'll win, and then we'll start talking about it. Is he the GOAT again?
He'll get pressed at a press conference, and you can nearly imagine how it's going to go now. John, can you talk about this? No. I've been through my dark times, and I just want to thank the fans who stuck with me, and I'm not focusing on that. I'm only focusing on the future. I'm blessed to be back. Until 12 months again, and we have another up where he fails something else.
But more coke, probably more whatever.
I don't want to completely on the guy. Full stop.
You see, this is
my problem with it is it's the pattern of behavior.
But that's exactly what I was going to say. Is this is why you're saying
Why would
I
you
don't want
change?
to shit on
Why
him.
would you change if there's no
So
consequences?
this is a man that has literally, and this is all, but he's had a long enough UFC career by average standards. But what I'm saying is, this is a guy that, you know, it's not. We're not looking at this career retroactively, right? We're looking at this career as it's going on, and this is a guy that has hid underneath a ring to hide from drug testers. This story's been as good as verified by many respected people in the MMA world. Hid underneath the ring for 12 hours, pissed underneath the ring so he didn't have to leave when the USADA guys were at his gym. Then 2 cocaine binges, one of which included a hit and run of a pregnant woman, right?
I don't know if there was cocaine involved in that one, but still hitting a pregnant woman.
He has absolutely been scooped for cocaine as well. And on top of that, it was drink driving, wasn't he? With that?
That was before.
Drink driving.
Crashed his Bentley with 2 young women who weren't his fiancée in the car.
Right. So this is like this guy now, like Jon Jones is from... For me, he's gone from being the guy that I've tried to give the benefit of the doubt too many times to the guy that I just don't fucking care anymore. I don't want to actually... It's not that I don't want to see him fight, because I'll always watch him fight. I'm not going to lie to you or you at home and say, oh, I would never watch him fight. But I would be happy enough and understand the UFC going, do you know what, John? We're just done with you now. Like, it's too much. It's too much, man. I can't go through this every 6 months, because it's...
My thing...
Is public perception of the sport is more important than money. Like, and
not to the higher ups.
But this is the problem, man. It's damaging what the sport is now. It's starting to damage.
I would have no issue with Jon fighting again, because I enjoy watching him fight. I want to see the best fight, but I also want to see fair and reasonable punishment for violations. And I mean, this falls into it. Like, that's... So I was saying before about other guys who, you know, caught first time. Chad Mendes got caught for, was it skin cream, which happened to have something?
Yeah, it's steroids in it. But that's the difference.
But what I'm saying is, like, that's, you know, guilty, 2 years, no negotiation.
Yeah.
Other guys who have tainted supplements, Lyoto Machida, who brought the supplement
2
forward
years as well,
to see if it was okay for him to take. Bam. It was either 18 months or 2 years, but still a substantial amount of time. But Jon, who on his second violation can't be proven innocent, and then negotiates his way out.
It's also just a bit of a snake move, because you know what they say about snitches, Mel.
They get what's coming to them.
They get what's coming to them. That's what they say.
And stitches.
Well, yes. And bitches. Well, maybe not. Well, no, apparently. 2 in a Bentley. But
my thing is, like, how, you know, people will... Right, that, you know, they will blindly accept that. He is back. He is not innocent, but cleared of any wrongdoing. But just the facts of the story don't look that way at all.
No. Like, it looks like there's been a massive payoff. There's collusion within that organisation.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. The USADA is a joke. Mm-hmm. It's lost all credibility. It's steadily been losing credibility. And I think this is the nail in the coffin for USADA.
I could not agree more. Be sure to let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that Jon's suspension was fair? What would you have liked to see him get? And of course, please like, share, and subscribe. The biggest thing that you can do to help us grow the channel is to share it with your friends. Anybody that you know that would enjoy this video, please share it with them.
Excellent!